Hello everyone, I am MechaRandom42, your favorite YouTube harpy, and today we're talking about, it's a bit of an older article, but basically, is feminization detrimental to the development of friendships in young boys? Now, I saw this article floating around on Twitter today. It's a much older article. I think it's from back in April or May, and I was going to probably talk about it in May, but my channel was still doing gaming. I have seen this article before. But yeah, this one just came back up on Twitter. So it states, boys are growing frustrated by living in a feminized society, and that's showing up in their friendships. I think that's showing up in a lot more than just their friendships, but I will elaborate as we go. I burst out laughing the other day when reading a friend's Facebook status. He explained that he and his 2 grade school sons were watching Anne of Green Gables. When they came to the part where Anne and Diana had a conversation, and while standing on a cliff overlooking the sea, the youngest son suddenly blurted out, "Anne better watch out, Diana might push her off the cliff." In amazement, my friend looked at his son, and he asked if he thought girl friendships were the same as the physical, often rough and tumble ones which existed between him and his brother. The conversation ended in hysterical laughter as the 3 of them recognized just how different male interactions are from female ones. Really? They're just realizing that? We're just realizing that as a society, apparently. Oh no, this is another good one to talk about, women who emotionally abuse men. See, now I've got a whole page of all these crazy articles to talk about. And I have a cat crying to begin. Hello, kitty cat. Hello, face. I might let you in a bit. I don't know if you can hear that on the microphone. We already read that. I thought of the story when I came across a piece by Heidi Stevens in the Chicago Tribune. Stevens, the mother of a 9-year-old boy, recently noticed how intense and troubled her son's friendships are with other little boys. Curious, she reached out to her psychologist, Wendy Mogul, to find out if her son was an anomaly. Mogul assured her he was not, that many other little boys wrestle with existential questions, including, how can I be myself without getting into trouble? Does anyone consider me a hero? And what do I contribute to this family that someone else doesn't already contribute better? Boys, like the sons of my friend mentioned above, are naturally known for relationships which involve rough play and high adventures. Although energetic and overactive to female perspectives like my own, they often fuse strong friendships which are helpful in forming bonds of manhood. But as Mogul implies, these rough but good friendships seem to be disappearing, particularly as boys wrestle with the above questions. Instead, boys have friendships infused with more drama and trouble. Mogul believes this change stems from the way we expect boys to behave these days. Boys, Mogul contends, bristle at expectations that quiet their bodies and minds and mouths and follow the rules of a traditional school day, particularly a modern school day with its increased reliance on standardized testing and decreased gym and recess time. They long to Skylark, a word she stumbled upon in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Oh, I would hope she read Tom Sawyer. They're these darling little elves who are kind of on lockdown at school and at home, she said. Even on teams, there's a coach and there are rules. All day long, they figure out how to talk to their teacher and how to talk to their buddies and fit in the cool crowd. And they're hungry and they're frustrated and they're tired. Rules are great and necessary, but the fact is we're disallowing boys to be boys. We've taken away toys like guns and swords because they're dangerous, quote unquote. We've medicated little boys because their movements and noise are too much for us to take. We've tried to make sure girls are equal and included, and thus remove the institutions where boys don't have to compete against those of the opposite sex. Yeah, like pushing girls into Star Wars who don't really want to be into Star Wars with the Force for Diversity dolls. And the whole agenda of making it so much more feminized than it should be. Let's face it, boys are different from girls, from little girls and adults. Unless we allow them to have outlets for natural boy play and ideas, we should not be surprised when they seem frustrated and can't succeed in modern society. Is it time to stop treating the traditional rough and tumble, boy-like, dangerous creature who must be toned down to suit a feminized society? It's time. Yes, absolutely. Okay. Here's my 2 cents on it. Boys get online, and you can kind of see my cat. There's a cat. Hello, cat. The little boys will get online in video games, and they will swear at each other, spew out racial slurs, anything they can, because they're so controlled in modern society. They aren't allowed to do anything, say anything. And I say the term little boy, but I hear, boys up to about 25 years old also just spewing the most nastiest, horrible things on online video games over microphones that I've ever heard. And here's the thing, though. They're only doing this because they have no other outlet for anything. They aren't allowed to play roughhouse, have violent, anything violent. We are a species. We have evolved fighting for survival. We're very tribalistic. We have evolved to, get into these little subcultures and sub-tribes to fight each other, thinking, okay, this other tribe is dangerous. I'm going to protect my tribe by fighting the other one. And this is why so many people play, and women too, play these sort of violent video games, have, clans and groups or whatever in video games where they have like the same little tribe of people that they played with to go and get the enemy. This is the same with political mentality, sports mentality, all of that stuff. What we're doing, though, is we are absolutely shoving girls in where they don't belong, where they don't want to be. And I was a tomboy, so I have a little experience in this. When I was a little kid, I liked to play with the boys because boys had cooler toys. They had cars, they had Star Wars toys. They had cooler stuff. Girls were playing with Barbies and dolls, and they were into fashion and clothes and all that stuff. And I liked collecting the Hot Wheels. I liked seeing all the Star Wars toys. I liked the lightsabers. I liked, the AT-ATs. Yes, we called them AT-ATs. I liked those sort of things as a kid. There's nothing wrong with girls liking them. There's also nothing wrong with boys liking them. There's nothing wrong with focusing your toy line, your products, your structure of things on boys. There's nothing wrong with having the boys on one side, the girls on the other, because it's natural. It's fine. And if girls do desperately want to join something, they will. If boys desperately want to join something traditionally feminine, they will. We kind of are in this day and age where people don't get made fun of if they want. If a boy wants to be a cheerleader, good. Who cares? We don't make fun of him anymore. At least I don't. I'm more concerned that we're stunting the growth of other boys by making them more emotional, trying to get them to talk about their feelings more, trying to get them to calm down. There's a reason why in the even in my generation, the 80s, boys would get on their bikes and just go. They would drive around town all till it got dark outside. And even little girls did sometimes too. Girls don't really like getting messy so much. Boys don't care. See, there's huge differences between boys and girls, and anybody knows that. You don't have to be a PhD. You don't even have to be a parent to remember there's differences between boys and girls. And sometimes you're going to have the girl who wants to climb trees and ride bikes. Sometimes you won't. It's all... You don't have to force people into things that they don't want to do and they don't like, and it isn't natural for them. Roughhousing, perfectly natural for boys. Violent play, yes. Playing cowboys, soldiers, any of those things, perfectly natural for boys. Whereas like the homemaking stuff, child rearing, nurturing, that type of thing, perfectly natural for girls. Yes, there's going to be boys who want to play with dolls. Yes, there's going to be boys who want to play with easy bake ovens. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's a damn thing wrong with that. What I'm saying is when we take the behavior of somebody that has been a thing for as long as I can remember. I watch a lot of old television. I grew up on 60s and 50s television. You always had boys roughhousing. Boys will be boys. Violent behavior with boys. Bewitched, boys would come over to the house and Esmeralda would probably tie them up, or Endora, or any of the other side witches would just kind of tie them all up because they would roughhouse. Because that's what boys did. Oh God, these articles are so... These articles are so important to spread around. These messages are so important to spread out. What do you guys think? Should boys be allowed to roughhouse to a certain extent? I mean, obviously you don't want to go all Macaulay Culkin and Good Son and having boys like throwing bodies off the overpass or to cause wrecks and actual harm. But just play wrestling, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with playing with lightsabers or toy guns even, for that matter. All the guns we have now are bright orange and Nerf because people were using toy guns to like rob places, and they were getting their asses shot because they were pointing toy guns at cops. Don't do that. Never do that. Never point a gun at a cop. Duh. And I can't believe I have to say that in this video in the middle of a rant. But what do you guys think? Are we kind of in this point of society where the next generation of guys are going to be really in trouble? I mean, I'm already kind of seeing it. I'm already seeing women getting preferential treatment in workplaces, women getting priority hiring. If you're a woman with, an ethnic background and some sort of differently abled, some sort of condition that you can put on your resume, you're a guaranteed hire, as opposed to poor white guy with 20 years experience. And it's really sad that in this day and age, we are so disrespectful to males and men in general. I don't know. What do you guys think? This is actually probably going to be the Patreon early access video. It might be a Patreon exclusive video. I'm not sure yet. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I am MeccaRandom42, and I will see you guys on the next video or live stream. Bye!